Lincoln Public School students were back in class today after school was called off yesterday because of the weather.
And we all know weather here in Nebraska is hard to predict. So how does LPS know when to cancel school? It's a decision that affects more than 40,000 students. Channel 8's Mackenzie Johnson sat down with the superintendent of LPS today, and she joins us now with more. Mackenzie.
Last-minute school closures can make it difficult for parents to find a safe place to take their children. Superintendent Dr. Paul Gausman says there's a lot of factors they take into account before they make the call.
We have a team of people that work together as we know weather events are coming. They spend time together, digitally talking about the forecast and then, of course, drive the roads, understand the real conditions that are there. We're really looking at the timing of the weather.
Gausman says it can be difficult to decide on school cancellations because the weather doesn't always do what it's expected to. So why doesn't each school board create a policy on when to call a snow day? Gausman says it's just not realistic with Nebraska weather.
It is so easy to judge whether we should have had school or not at the end of a day when you see what the weather actually did compared to what you sometimes are having to decide upon, which is a prediction or a forecast that may or may not come true.
Gausman says the district made a rule a few years ago to not do early outs or late starts for weather.
We're 43,000 students. As I acknowledged, we're in 140 plus square miles, 8,000 staff members. The decision was made here that this organization is just too big for those quick, nimble decisions of that nature.
Gausman says he's gotten a lot of questions about whether LPS will start doing online class during snow days, but he says they don't plan on that anytime soon.
There are so many challenges with the virtual component of whether students took their devices home, whether they're properly charged, whether the staff are ready to teach in that environment. And one thing we learned through the pandemic was students learn best when they're in a classroom with their teacher.
Gausman says they partner up with the city when weather events could impact school bus routes so they can get those roads cleared quickly. He says he tries to keep schools open if at all possible because some kids may depend on the school for a meal and parents don't always have other options for childcare. But at the end of the day, the decision is up to Gausman, and he says he has one top priority.
That's just part of being the superintendent of schools. And when you're making the snow day decision, you're going to frustrate somebody. So you try to get the emotion out of the way, make the decision purely on the context of keeping students safe.
And Wednesday was the third snow day for LPS this school year. Gausman says they have around 5 built into the schedule depending on the grade level. He wanted to say a big thank you to parents in particular for working with the school on snow days.